Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for bearing with me over, I think it's been about 2 weeks now. I've been taking care of Annie and I just got really tired. And I just felt like I needed to rest. And I think if you're tired and you're taking care of a sick cat morning, noon, and night, you don't make the best videos. And I didn't want to give out anything that wasn't the best. So as you guys, I think probably know, she has 2 viruses, both are incurable. But what's really getting her right now is something called the Khaleesi virus, and it really affects the respiratory. So that's why I ended up having to take her the past Saturday to a vet, because it gets to her breathing. And basically what you do with a cat is the same as what you would do with a child that was in that situation. You put the vaporizer on and you put Vicks on the top of it, and I've just been holding her like a baby all night. So I've been a bit tired, but it does help her breathe. But let me just put a little caveat out there that you don't want to put Vicks on a cat because it's not edible, okay? But they can breathe it in, the vet said, and that's what he suggested, and that's what we did. So members, you have some great videos coming out today about healing with the angels, healing for yourself and how to heal others. And then next week we'll conclude that series. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also channeling for the angel members, Archangel Zadkiel, the angel that really helps you to let go of things, helps you to be able to move on, and also to gain some compassion while you're doing that. But, disconnecting from past traumas and tragedies and that sort of thing. So I asked all of you to send me in questions that you would like me to read on. And obviously this has been a really difficult week. And I think the bulk of the questions in general and the ones that got the most likes were really all about that school shooting, which is just a tragedy. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I feel like we've had this conversation so many times, and like nothing seems to change. The cards always say the same thing: change is coming. And when I channel the Ra and I ask for a bigger perspective on it, I get the same answer: change is coming. It's slow to come. Things will get better. There will be new legislation. Things will improve. But this also, I think, goes to show you how many people are living a third density reality. They're being of service to self and not others. And even though we are like the majority of the country wants reform, we want change, we can still see that there's a holdout and there's an awful lot of money backing that. Look at what the NRA is doing right now, right? Having their convention just miles away, in the same state, for goodness sake. So I think the question that got the most likes with 72 is by Amber, and she wants to know, will Beto win the governor race? Will we finally be able to get out from under the thumb of Abbott in Texas? Because let's face it, on one hand, Abbott saying, oh, this is a tragedy, this is so terrible, but then he sends in that video to the NRA, literally, like, I guess it was playing at the same time as he was in that town hall with these people who just lost their children. I mean, that is just, and like Amber says, my heart hurts so much, right? And it's like, as empaths, I think we have to be careful how much of this we absorb. It's really hard to do that whole observe, don't absorb type thing. But you know what? We have to do it sometimes to some degree, even though I have to say I'm usually better at it than I have been recently with this one. I don't know why this one just hit differently. I don't know if it's just from the sheer number of lives lost, but so let's take a look. Let's take a look at Beto, and we'll take a look at Abbott separately. I liked Beto's message. I liked his vibrancy. I liked his passion. I felt like he was speaking from the heart. And I think he was saying what so many of us are thinking. I think we really could connect with him in that moment when we was all listening to him. So, I feel great about Beto, by the way. So what do we need to know, Spirit, about Beto? Beto O'Rourke, what do we need to know? Okay. First card, Page of Cups. Pages deliver messages. And, this one delivers good messages, positive messages. So that is, and I think too, think about it. He just delivered a huge message, didn't he? So I think the fact that he got a page makes perfect sense. He is certainly, and I just got a psychic hit. Archangel Gabriel is with him. The messenger angel. It's like he's guiding him and helping him to say the right words eloquently, but also with the right tone that's needed right now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, Gabriel just kind of came in and okay. All right, so that's great. His obstacle, look at his obstacle though. Money. His obstacle is money. So big surprise that, the Republicans are going to try to fight this tooth and nail because they know what it means to have somebody like a Beto O'Rourke in office. Next card. Drastic change. Okay, Knight of Wands. I like this. Look at that horse rearing up. He's ready to go. And I think Beto is ready to go. And he gets the card of leadership, triumph, victory. This character has, this is Six of Wands, by the way. This character is emerging from a battle victorious and triumphant. And, he has the passion and the fire of the wands. So it's interesting because I was talking about the passion and fire of Beto O'Rourke and look at all the wands he's getting, right? So that makes sense. The Emperor card, love it. Okay, I think that is him. The Emperor is somebody who's stable, reliable, predictable, down to earth. It's a 4 energy, it takes 4 corners to make the foundation of a house. So somebody who's really rock solid. And then we'll finish up with the 10 of Cups. I mean, look at this. The card of peace, love, happiness, happy families, people celebrating. Here's a mother and father and their 2 children celebrating. So I feel good about Beto, okay? I feel great about him. Let me just put these away. And then we'll take a look at Abbott because I know the bulk of the questions are about the 2 of them. So I think it really means that we need to take a look. If you hear any outside sounds, I do have my windows open because as you can see, it's a very warm, very muggy, humid. The humidity is at 99%. And, like I always say, when I lived in Cambodia, the jungles of Asia, right? The humidity would linger around in the 80s, 70s, 80s. And it's funny how in New England, here I am on the ocean, and we're more humid than the jungles of Cambodia. Climate change is real, my friends. Because when I was growing up, we did not have this humidity. We simply didn't. All right, so what do we need to know about Abbott? His energy is just slimy. I don't like going into his energy. It's like going into DeSantis's energy. It's just, ugh. For lack of a better word. You have to just kind of grin and push your way through, It's because it's just gross energy. Literally the visual that I get is and I don't actually mind snakes. That's the funny part. But these snakes aren't good. It's like a pit of slithery, slimy snakes because snakes aren't slimy. I used to be the one that took care of my snake in biology class, in high school. So they're not slimy, but these snakes are slimy. And that's the energy he and both DeSantis gives me when I get into their auras. It's like, ugh. Almost like an eel, I guess, in that sense, right? Okay, what do we need to know about Abbott? I just keep hearing time for change, time for change, time for change. So the first card, here he is, the Hierophant. I think this is how he feels. He feels like he is not just a leader, not just a governmental leader, not just a politician, but a spiritual leader. Because the Hierophant, used to be called the Pope card, right? So it's almost like he puts himself at this elevated status mentally in his own head. Little deranged. His obstacle, though, is the card of perseverance. So he's going to have to like try to hang in there, putting one foot in front of the other, you know, 9 of Wands this is. Because I didn't realize how many of you listen and don't watch. You know, like you're going for walks or you're just driving your car. So that's why I'm trying to say the name of the cards, because I know a lot of you are just listening. The other thing I wanted to mention, so many of you say, can you do something with closed captioning? Can you do something? I don't have to. YouTube already does it for you. So when you're watching a YouTube video, mine or anybody else's, you hit my video, right? That's playing right now. You would just put your finger on it or click the mouse over on it. And there's 3 dots on the top right. And one of them is closed captioning. And so you can do the closed captioning all on your own. It's not something I do. I know I've mentioned this in the past, so I'm sorry, but I started to get more people asking about that. So I figured a lot of people don't know that you can make any of these videos closed captioning, okay? So interesting, look at this. So he gets the Lover's card, which makes me wonder, who has he been in bed with? Not literally, of course, but I mean, politically, making deals, that sort of thing, exchanging money. What's Abbott been doing? Who has he been pairing up with? And isn't it funny that we get another angel? Because, you know, there's like such an angelic presence, you know, with Beto, and it's like, wait, okay, now another one's swooping in. So it makes me feel like this election is going to be very like divinely guided. But here he is walking away. You know, back's turned, 8 of Cups, you know, but without losing anything. His life will still go on, which is probably not what most people want to hear. But, you know, these cups are upright, they're full, they're good. So, but the thing is, do I see him getting out of the Texans' hair? And then I get my card for the U.S. Like America will prevail, the star card. You know, the card of like faith and hope and dreams coming true, and, you know, for the US. So I think we're in a pretty good position. I do. Let me take a look at the next one that got a lot of likes. Oh, it was by Christina. She asked, is Beto safe? Because he's stirring up a lot of things. I think so. I do. Also, if elected, will he have a legislature that will back up his goals? I think he's going to meet a lot of opposition. I don't know. I don't think I need to pick up cards on that one. I think he's got to meet some opposition, but that doesn't mean he's not going to have some successes. Okay. This one, I would have normally not taken this, Giselle, but something happened during meditation this week, and that's why I'm taking this. Giselle asks, and you know, I had a cat named Giselle, and I love that name because I had danced in that ballet many years ago. Wondering if those who passed at Sandy Hook were there to help these children and teachers cross over. And what's interesting is I wasn't looking for this during meditation. I just try to clear my mind, and whatever comes through, you know, unless I'm doing like an intentional channeling. And yes, that actually came through in meditation, that I actually got a glimpse of them crossing over for some reason, which I don't normally do unless I actually set my intentions on it and I ask my guides for assistance. Yes. And so I'm wondering, Giselle, if you're asking that question, if you felt a little something, a little sixth sense or a gut feeling, or you had a little intuition, and that's why you're asking, because yes, they were right there. Like I felt like when those, you know, 19 children and teachers crossed over, they were just being like pulled over by so many, like it almost looked like congested to me. How many loving beings were there. And so please don't worry that they crossed by themselves. And no, I think the ones from Sandy Hook were right there, along with so many angels. And I also got the message of grandmothers and grandfathers that were there. Lots of grandparents, a lot of spirit guides. So yeah, please don't ever think, you know, the thing is, like I always say, we're born in this world alone, but when we cross, we are greeted by so many people. That's what I always see. And I hope more of you take my mediumship class and join us in the Mediumship Circle every month. That's been phenomenal. But it's just so validating because you get to see that, yes, you know, this is not the ending. When somebody passes, it's not the ending. Life, so to speak, still goes on. Okay. This was a good question by Lake Joyer. Is our life review on the other side exclusive for us, or is it available for all souls to see? So I think what I've seen when you are watching it, I get like this big, huge, it's like a rounded screen that is able to have the images come up three-dimensional, because it's like you get immersed in it or immersed in it. You become a part of it. You feel everything, which means you also feel everything you've ever done to somebody. But you do it with your spirit guide. You do it with certain angels. But it also gets stored in the Akashic records. And that is there for everyone to see. So you may not have other souls around you unless you want them to be there. It's, you know, it's meant for you to learn, right? So you can make your next decision about what it is you're going to do. Do I, you know, reincarnate? Do I go back to my home planet? Do I just hang out in what we would consider heaven? Do I need to go to the healing center and just be cocooned in love and light by angels for a while? But is it exclusive? Only maybe at the moment, but ultimately everything gets stored in the Akashic records. I wanted to answer this because I've been asked this a few times by a few different people. Needy asks, can I read about the future of DACA/dreamers? I read about them a few months ago. And can I see where their situation stands now? Yeah, because let's face it, it was quite different under the last administration, wasn't it? It was truly under threat. So let's take a look. What do we need to know about the dreamers right now? I'm getting like a high-pitched ringing in my ear. Okay, wait, so there has to be a message here. Hang on. What I'm getting from my spirit guide is, first of all, my guide's saying, yes, moving forward. Yes, moving forward. It's not going to be as slow as you think, which is nice, okay, because we never get that message, right? My guide is saying a lot of us think it's on the back burner, but it actually isn't. It's just not in the forefront right now because we have so much going on that the people that are working on all of this are still working on it. It's just quiet because my guide is saying Ukraine, pandemic, inflation. So don't think it's on the back burner as much as maybe you were thinking, okay? Sometimes when you get that high-pitched ringing, you know you need to just stop and listen. Okay. Lots of energy with this question because I feel like the cards are real jumpy. Which I always take as a good thing. You want lots of energy when you're reading. So they're still making decisions about it. They're still ironing things out. And maybe there'll even be some choices for, you know, the individuals involved. But I think for a long time, we were living under this disillusioned energy under the last administration, but we're pulling away from that. The obstacle has been financing. You know, it's been there, but it hasn't been anything extraordinary. It hasn't been anything to like move things truly forward. So things have been sort of slow, but steady. Okay, that's the one thing about the, so that was 7 of Cups. I'm sorry. This is Knight of Pentacles. So things have been slow and steady. Okay, but that's also coming up in the obstacle position that there's not like enough change. So now when I say this, take a deep breath. The Death card. The Death card is about transition and transformation, Look at the petals on the white flower. There's 5. 5 is the number for change in numerology. So that tells us that things are changing. And you can even see that there's children down here. So things are changing. And then we get Page of Pentacles. So money starts to get thrown at this issue, which is what we need. Pages also represent children. Perfect. And pages also talk about sending messages, giving messages, receiving messages. And so we're going to be hearing something about it. And then look at this, celebrating, 10 of Cups, celebrating a happy family here, the 2 parents, the 2 children, peace, love, and happiness. And then if I go out, actually my guide says to keep going out a little bit more. So 3 of Cups, the card of celebration, joy, people coming together. We'll do one more. The Justice card. That's why they wanted me to go out one more. So justice being served. Justice being served. So beautiful. Beautiful. So I hope that answers your question, Neeti. Courtney asks, and this one got a lot of 70 likes. Does this recent tragedy in Texas have the potential to motivate the masses for real change? I think so. And I think maybe that's why this one hit me a little bit differently this time. Like, okay, maybe this is the catalyst. Maybe this one is the time where things start to change. I mean, because let's face it, they all hit you hard, right? I mean, all these terrible things hit you hard, but this one just hit me a little differently. It really caught my attention in ways that I couldn't totally understand as I was watching it. Because like once you get past the horror, it's like, okay, wait a minute, what actually am I feeling? And I was like actually feeling like, you know what, this may end up actually being a catalyst for change. As terrible as it is, something good I think is going to come out of this. Oh, the other thing too, guys, I know people are still impersonating YouTubers that offer readings, and the only way you can get a reading is on DianaAquarius.com. I will never, ever, ever come up to any of you and solicit a reading, okay? But I saw that it just happened again with somebody else, and I have had people fall for it in the past, which is heartbreaking, because your money's just gone. They just take it. Okay. Look at this. The first card, the Chariot, taking control and moving forward. Love it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better card, right? To talk about, is there going to be change? Yes. Moving forward. Yes. Yes. So what's the obstacle? Okay. Who's surprised? This card has come to oftentimes represent a particular party. I think we know which one I'm talking about, right? The GOP has really been resistant towards this. But look, money's going to start coming its way for change. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's all about money. It's not about saving lives. It's not about children. It's not about teachers. It's not about schools. It's about money. And so we get 9 of Pentacles. And so, this is a card of financial affluence, independence, abundance, followed by the other card. I mean, that's 9 of Pentacles. Here's 10 of Pentacles. So money is going to start actually getting thrown at this problem for real. And here comes drastic change. Knight of Wands. All right. I love it. And then Page of Pentacles. Okay. Getting some more money towards us. So, and it's sad. And for those of you that don't live in this country, you may not understand like why I'm so excited about money, because that's actually the whole issue. The issue is money. It's nothing to do with anything else, unfortunately. Let me do one more question and then I'll do a 3-card pull. Okay. I'll answer this one quickly because I see that sometimes you guys ask me about Skinwalker Ranch. Carol asked me about it. And if you don't know, it's a show on TV, but it's actually a real place, Skinwalker Ranch. They discovered an anomaly above the triangle shape on the ground. Is it a portal or cloaked UFO? The telescopes pointing to that area all shut down. I've always gotten the same thing when I've done channelings on it, is that there's a portal there and the beings are interdimensional. So I know, like, you always hear me talk about the densities, you know, like we're third density going into fourth, and angels and the Ra, they're sixth density. And but then you have different dimensions. And like, that's why I always say when people talk about like, oh, I'm so excited we're going into the fifth dimension. And I'm like, well, that's not that exciting because there's like an infinite amount. I mean, it's better than what we've got now. But there are all these different dimensions. And so I would also put like shadow people, if you've ever heard that term, shadow people, those creatures, is an interdimensional being, right? They're not beings that you can just simply banish or get rid of or whatever, you know, they're interdimensional. They can move between the dimensions. And so that's what I've always felt like is there. And I've always been told by the Ra that there is a portal there from another dimension. So I hope that helps, Carol. I actually don't watch the show, so I don't know specifics, but that's what I've asked. Okay. I feel like so many of these are the same question, just in different forms, because so many people are so upset about this whole thing that's happened. Here's a good one, by Paula. Will we address the lack of mental health care needed in this country? You know, while I don't believe military weapons should be sold, I do know that a killer will always find a way to kill. True, right? I mean, but I mean, how many people can you take out with, say, a knife, you know, opposed to an AR-15? So yeah, let's take a look at the mental health care in this country, because really, when you start to get into that young man's story, it's not good. I mean, his mother had a drug addiction. He 3 months ago moved in with his grandparents, who forced him to sleep on the floor. They didn't think he was worth getting a license for. She was trying to take his cell phone away. He had quit school. You know, if somebody had just taken an interest in this kid and maybe did something for him, this wouldn't have happened. He was only 18, and it's like the world had already given up on him. So the second, you know, he turned 18, he dropped out of school, he bought some guns, I think something like 400 rounds of ammunition. You know, there are warning signs there. Why didn't the school pick up on it? Okay, so mental health in this country. So we're in for a fertile new beginning. Ace of Wands. Aces are about new beginnings. This is a fertile new one. So that means that the seeds that have been starting to get planted are going to come into fruition. So good things are going to start to come. The obstacle is, look at all the brokenhearted people. You know, 3 of Swords, right? That's 3 swords through the heart here. Heartache, heartbreak, brokenheartedness. You know, there's a lot of people with depression, anxiety, people that have given up, people, you know, with all sorts of mental illnesses, PTSD that need help, you know. Look at our soldiers. We're going into Memorial Day. We need to address help for them. Once they come back, they need real, true help. And so that's, you know, the obstacle is that there's just so many of them that need this assistance. And the money's going to be coming in slowly, predictably, reliably. So I'm not seeing a revolution here. I don't think that this is going to be a huge, quick, fast change. But look at this. It's a turning point. So Paula, we're coming into a turning point. Beautiful. So we're coming into a turning point in this country where we're starting to do the right thing. And that brings about balance and harmony, the Temperance card. So we are in for a better time. We are. And we just have to remember that, you know, as hard as it is, as miserable as things have been, you know, we do need to get people the right help, don't we? So I'm just going to shuffle the fairy deck here. I will let Spirit pick the 3 cards. Because I know so many of you, this is probably what I get written to about the most, is about this 3-card pull at the end, because it's helping so many of you. You know, and just trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Okay. Got the 3 cards here. Somebody asked me if I could spread them out a little more. So let me try that. How's that? So just center yourself. Take a deep breath. And which one do you feel drawn to first? 1, 2, or 3? Here we go. Card number 1. 9 of Winter. And it says, unfounded fear. Focusing on worst case scenarios. So your brain's going and going, you're over analyzing, being over analytical, that sort of thing, overthinking, allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. So replace it with a good thought. I am so happy and grateful that, and just think of the opposite of whatever it is that you're stressed out about. Card number 2, 4 of Spring. It's a pretty card. Be grateful you have much to celebrate. Ooh, so good times are coming. Deep feelings of peace and happiness. A contented personal life. Sometimes the contacts reading up close is a little weird. I can read up close with my glasses, but sometimes with the contacts, it's a little different. So a contented personal life. So this is really a beautiful card. That's a really nice one. That's a blessing. And then 4 of Winter. And we get, set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. So this is like the card of introspection, reflection, meditation, taking a step back. Solutions that come from meditation. The need for more sleep or a vacation. So you're overdoing it, and just relax for a little bit, okay? All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend. And let's not forget why we have this weekend, right? You know, I know my father served, but obviously, you know, he did survive. He was shot twice. He had 2 Purple Hearts. But, you know, a lot of people didn't come back. And so we do owe them a great, you know, I don't even know how to express it, like such gratitude that they have done what they have done. And, you know, and just thank you for everyone that did serve. So everyone, blessings on this holiday weekend. Namaste.